Dr. Morgan. Don't touch my organ. Alright, welcome back to another episode of Two Step Violin. Today we will be answering your questions that you have about what it's like to learn and practice an instrument.
Woo!
Many of you we often meet say that you picked up an instrument because of us.
Don't do it! No, I'm just joking.
It's so painful.
It's so painful. You don't want to practice that hard.
The suffering. Actually, do you know? I learned a cool fact, a cool motivational fact today. The word passion in, I think, Latin means to suffer.
Whoa!
So, you're not really passionate about something unless you suffer for it. You gotta push through and endure.
So you gotta practice!
First question from I Got More Problems. Does the difficulty of learning an instrument depend on talent? Depends what you mean by difficulty. Some people might be quick at learning notes. Some people might be good at vibrato. Everyone finds different parts more difficult than others, right?
And also outside of like the technical spectrum, some people might be better at rhythm, some people might be better at phrasing, have better musical ideas.
There's the emphasis on difficulty, right? As if we want it to be easy. But again, if you're passionate about something, if you want to do great things shouldn't be easy. But I guess what you're trying to ask probably is how much impact talent has on learning an instrument. Let's take an extreme example, right? Like someone that we might think of as super talented and gifted. And again, someone might look talented, but they practice like 80 hours a day and you just don't know, right?
Yeah.
Someone like Ziyu He who goes, oh, this look like it's easy, haha. He still put in a lot of hours.
Yeah,
you can't just be like, oh, it's easy and just play Paganini without practicing. It doesn't work that
He's
way.
put in a lot of hours.
So I think the ability to persist and put in the work even when things get rough and tough is the most important part. Because even if you're talented but you don't do that, your talent's wasted. Right?
Yeah, there's a lot of stories of talented people,
Yeah.
whatever you define it as, just give up and quit because they just didn't have the ability to push through.
And I'd also say the work isn't always just physical work or practicing.
Yeah.
It's also emotional work because there are also talented people. You know, they were young, they were pushed hard by their parents, and then they kind of developed a really kind of weird relationship with the instrument, and then they just couldn't play anymore. And so part of pushing through the challenge is also emotional aspect of how you come to terms with the journey, because the journey is meant to be challenging.
Yes, it's not the destination, it's the journey! Does learning an instrument really help improve your intelligence?
Well, clearly not. You tell us.
Yeah, you tell us.
Do you think it worked?
I don't know!
I don't know.
I think it definitely helps you develop like different aspects of your life. I mean, there's so much science research. It does like activate parts of your brain that normally is not activated. Especially because it's a lot of finger movement, kinesthetic stuff. It's also linking towards how you think about things.
Yeah, and rhythmic stuff helps with mathematics.
Yeah, it really does help. I don't know the specifics, but I remember seeing a lot of research about that.
I mean, just look at Bach, how high IQ he is. The art of fugue.
Is it possible to learn the violin without going for actual lessons?
Well, if you saw that video we did of guessing how long someone's played, that adult beginner that self-taught herself to play. That was pretty impressive.
That was pretty impressive.
Like normally I would have said no, but then I feel like more and more I'm seeing examples of people that teach themselves and it's just blowing my mind.
I also feel like it's probably in relation to because there's more information on the internet now.
Yes.
20 years ago, like zilch.
20 years ago there were like books, but the book you can't see or hear.
Yeah, the books.
You're just reading like, place your index finger 2 centimeters from your knuckle
like
for the Russian versus the Franco-Belgian
Yeah.
vote. You're like, what the?
I think it's yes, short answer. But it is always, and I think it'll be a long time before we can actually have no teacher. Yeah, I definitely think you need a teacher, and a good teacher that can guide you along the right direction.
Yes.
It makes your life easier in some ways, and also gives you quick fixes, because a lot of the time, we don't even know our own problems. Teacher is just like this awareness person. You look a bit tense on the neck there, you look a bit tense on that finger, and you might not even realize what you're playing.
Yeah, I'll give you another caveat too. It has to be a good teacher.
Oh yeah.
Because we know someone who unfortunately had not that great of a teacher, and the advice and tips she was given just didn't feel very right, and I was telling my friend the opposite, and then she just got really confused. So I do think having a bad teacher can also be quite detrimental, unfortunately.
Short answer, it is possible to learn by yourself, but it is also better to find a good teacher.
Yes. How do you find a teacher? LOL. I'm in a new area and don't have many connections.
It's tricky because I know if I Google violin teachers,
I've seen those website directories and it's like, yeah, 30% of them are people I know are legit, but then 70% of them, I'm suspicious.
yeah,
you know?
it's sus. If you're new and you have no idea, no one to ask, I would try multiple lessons with multiple teachers just to get a feel. And then maybe check on YouTube or some other videos or read some books and then kind of cross that information over with each other. Just make sure you're in the right direction.
In general, a good teacher will provide like strong frameworks. And you
Yeah.
will feel like a video game that you're just progressing comfortably and you can feel the improvement. If you feel like you're thrown into this deep end where you're just like, I don't know what I'm doing, I can't do this, it might mean that that teacher isn't very good at knowing where you're at. They should be able to pace out your improvement for you.
And then your first piece literally should just be something like this. Not even a piece.
Yeah. I would also say if the teacher asks you questions, so they actually want to know about what you want, that's generally a good sign. Versus I've had teachers that just talk. I hate that. They charge you so much money for like 60 minutes and they're like talking about their grandson or like Shakespeare. And I'm just like, bro, like I don't care. I think finding a teacher that's passionate is really important too. Someone that's not just doing it because they're like trying to get a paycheck, but you can tell that they love teaching. And also, some teachers are great players, but not good teachers.
Oh yeah.
That's something you
true.
have to keep in mind too. Like, just because they sound amazing doesn't necessarily mean they know how to teach.
The art of teaching is something else.
Yeah.
Buy a teacher first or buy an instrument first? Ooh!
That's tricky. I think if you know what to look for in an instrument, then you can buy one first. But if you don't know, having a teacher there to help you will be good. But again, the problem is there are teachers that scam students by recommending bad instruments for a lot of money and they take a hidden cut. It's happened to me.
It's happened to me.
It's happened to a lot of people. Don't just blindly buy the instrument. Go cross-check it. The same way how Brett said, have a few different teachers if you're starting and just see which one feels right. If a teacher recommends an instrument, you can usually be like, hey, can I try it first?
Yeah.
And when you try it, take it to other teachers, play it for them and get different opinions.
Oh, that's the best way actually.
Yeah.
And don't feel awkward, don't feel bad about it.
Don't let the teacher gaslight you into thinking
Yeah.
that, oh, you're not trusting the teacher.
No, you make your own decisions. Stand by yourself.
When is the time to change the teacher? Oh,
Okay. Oh,
that's a good question. A good teacher will tell you when it's
Yes.
time you're ready for change. But unfortunately, I think a lot of teachers won't tell you.
Yeah, I've been quite fortunate that at the beginning I've had teachers that told me to change because
Yes.
I've outgrown them. But I've also had times when teachers, they just can't tell, they don't want you to leave. Not saying I was the good player, but if you're like a decent student and then they just want to keep you because it's like a representation of the teacher's work and they just kind of like want to show you off. Like, look, if you come learn from me, you play like this guy. Just be careful of that. If you feel like the teacher can't even offer anything else, honestly, even after like a few months, 6 months, let's say, within 6 months, if there's a lot of repeats happen, because it takes a while to recognize that.
Yeah.
You're learning a piece, it takes time to learn. Once you play a new piece, they say the same thing. You fix it, but they say the same thing. That's probably a sign. I would also try and get lessons from other teachers as well to
Yes.
see if they have different ideas that make your playing better.
I've been fortunate that my teachers have been like, yeah, they encourage me. If you're traveling to different countries, have a lesson with the teachers in those countries, see what it's
Yeah.
like. There is a culture, and understandably, where, you know, you should in some ways be loyal to a teacher. I don't know, like there's something to be said about when a teacher gives so much of the time and passion into developing you, and then you take other lessons behind their back. But at the same time, there's just so many examples where students are just stuck with bad teachers. And that to me is worse. It's such a waste of the students' potential just because there's this culture where you kind of get guilted for having lessons with different teachers.
I get it, but man, teachers, you just got to step up your game.
Teachers should be constantly striving to
Teachers should
improve
be
as well.
striving to get better, and I know a lot of teachers don't, but I know a lot of teachers do as well, and props to them.
Yeah.
Because the teachers get better, everyone gets better.
Yeah.
I know teachers that go watch other teachers teach. Well, I'm like, wow. If you're scared, it doesn't hurt. It might be a bit intimidating. Ask teacher, hey, can I get some lessons from here?
I mean, if you're worried to even ask that, just start by being like, hey, I feel like I haven't really improved, and start the conversation.
Yeah, true. Is it possible to learn with different teachers, or is it better to keep only one for first years?
We kind of addressed that, but I will now present the other side of the argument, which is if you have different teachers, sometimes you will be confused because different teachers have different approaches. Because things take time. You don't learn something overnight. Imagine every second day you change your workout routine, and every second day you change your diet.
Yeah.
Like there's more than one good diet out there, but you can't be changing all the time.
Imagine you have two teachers that disagree on the type of bow hold.
Yeah, right?
You're gonna have problems.
You're
like
screwed.
one is like the Franco-Belgian, one's a Russian. You're just like you keep changing, you're screwed.
I think once you feel like there's a teacher you connect and resonate with, it's probably good to stick with them for at least some amount of time. But then over time, as you get better and you get more experience, you'll start to learn for yourself where you're at and when you need a different teacher. I think trust that inner voice. I'm 50. Is it too late to start? I don't think so.
No. I feel like as long as you know what you want, it's alright. Give it a shot. I mean, if you want to play like Paganiniana within like a year, okay, probably not.
Yeah.
But if you want to like play some piece, you have a goal in mind. Hey, I want to learn Hungarian dance or humoresque within a year or two. Maybe it's doable.
I think the good thing about violin playing is it's still physical, but it's not like tennis. I think as long as you don't have like too much joint pain. If your body's feeling okay, you can learn.
Yeah, exactly. And make sure you get a teacher just to check.
Why did everyone tell you not to play an instrument if they're old? Because they have given up on their dreams, and so they don't like seeing you go for your dreams.
Is it okay to learn more than one instrument at a time? Is it used to learn two instruments? And how good? What are your thoughts on learning more than one instrument? Up to you, really.
I mean, we both learn two instruments. You learn three for a bit. You
That's
learn
true.
cello for a little bit.
That's true.
I think, why not? Especially in the beginning, again, like the teachers, you don't know what you like. Maybe you'll find that you play the violin and that you play the recorder and somehow you just like the recorder, then good for you. You should play the recorder. Like, don't let, you know.
No, we love the recorders.
It's important to try things out and
exactly.
see what resonates with you.
Yes.
But it also gives you more perspective, actually. So yeah, it's a trade-off. On one hand, you're getting less time to get good at your instrument. On the other hand, you develop more perspectives that can help. Was it Julia Fisher that plays both violin and piano at an elite level?
Yeah.
It's
Exactly.
doable. And it's definitely okay. You can do it. These are such good questions, guys. I love it.
I wish we had more time as well.
Actually, yeah, look, we've got so many questions. This will be our last one because we're going quite in depth. If you guys want more, if you think there's something you like, let us know. We'll do a part 2. Not sure if I'm making progress. What will you do when you feel you get stuck in the same level? How to keep a positive okay. So feeling stuck. Ooh.
I totally know what they mean. Sometimes it does feel like you just want to quit. Or you just don't feel like it, right? But especially when it feels like you're not really improving. But don't worry if you're going through it first of all, because everyone goes through it. I wouldn't beat yourself up over it. It's okay to feel that way. Check with your teacher, for sure.
There's two possibilities. One is you are actually making progress. You just don't know.
Yeah.
Right? Because it doesn't feel like you're making progress. The other one is you're genuinely not making progress. And maybe you know that, or maybe you don't know. Maybe you think you're progressing, but you're not. I think these are two different
The
questions.
first one's interesting.
Sometimes it feels like you're not progressing, but if you push through and look back at 6 months, you come along.
And then when you play with something like, whoa.
I'm butchering the metaphor, but like, let's say you're flying and you just 1 degree off. In the beginning, it feels like minuscule difference. But in a long enough distance, the difference between landing in New York or Brazil, right? So sometimes every day, the progress is just 1 degree. So it doesn't feel like you're progressing. But over a large enough time, there is genuine progress.
Yeah, it's kind of stacks up. 1 year ago, you're trying to learn a concerto. A year later, you can play the whole concerto. Whoa.
But then what if you're not? What if you're not progressing? How do they know? How can we help them know if they're progressing or not?
Look at yourself in the mirror.
Brett was joking, looking at yourself in the mirror,
Look
but
at yourself
actually
in the mirror.
record yourself.
Yeah, record yourself.
That's the
because
first one.
it's hard, I know. We all don't want to record it. But you have to record yourself because it exposes you. It exposes everything that you do. And it'll pick up everything that you don't even hear while you're playing.
Yeah.
I guarantee you when you're playing, half the time your ears are not even switched on because you worry about all these other things.
I also think you need to know what you're working on. You have to have a goal. If you just practice what your teacher gives you, but you don't really know what you're striving for, then so how does one even know if they're progressing or not? Progress has to be relative to a destination. Right?
Yeah, and it could be anything, right?
Yeah.
It could be, I want a better tone for this part. I want to make sure I memorize these things. If it's a memory thing, well, maybe by day 20 you memorize one page or something, you know.
Exactly.
Like, intonation.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
remember for Mendelssohn, for example. That shift was really annoying. My goal was, I was like, okay, in the next 3 days, I need to be able to do this properly by then. I never missed that.
Yeah, exactly.
And the goal is I never missed that like 5 times in a row.
Secondly, you need to figure out if it's a perception problem or an execution problem. Do you know that you're playing out of tune? Do you know what good tone is meant to sound like? Or do you know but you just can't do it? If you have perception problems, you need someone that can help teach you, or you just listen to recordings and try to figure it out. Listen to great musicians, go to concerts. You have to develop your senses. But once you can perceive it, then it's just about can you execute? And if you're getting stuck on the execution part, find a teacher that can solve your answers.
That's it, everyone. Thank you for coming to Two Set Education, Two Set Versity. All of you guys out there, I know we meet all of you all last starting to learn instruments. I meet parents that are saying that thank you because the kids are actually practicing now and they're learning. Parents also keep an eye out for your kids. I hope this helps. It's important for parents to check for the kids what the teachers do. Don't just leave them do their thing. Help them out a bit. And if you're practicing yourself, check with the teachers. You know, get friends to listen to you. If you're at uni, check your friends. That's what it's all about. The community comes together. We help each other. Alright, that's it. Please like and subscribe. As always, practice.